It's just so unsustainable to not have enough sleep. And the time zone, like the rhythm that I'm in here at the moment is just impossible. It's not sustainable at all. It's not like impacting me because I've got enough grit and fortitude to push through it, but I'm feeling the fatigue set in. Like I feel like I need 2 or 3 days of recovery. And this is how a lot of people actually operate. Like they'll wipe themselves out all week and then need the weekend to recover. And like I'm reminded of what it was like a decade ago to not have healthy routine, cadence, and starting to feel like a little bit of adrenal fatigue. And in this moment, I'm still transitioning from like the last 4 hours of work stuff. But the Berry report is everything's falling into place. You know, I'm quite busy with everything and all the balls that are in the air, but everything is falling into place, which is fucking awesome. It's wonderful. It's really good. Hustle Garage is coming together. Killer podcast. Well, it's another Supercar Stories podcast. So this guy's a property developer and at least $5 million worth of supercars, and immigrant from Yugoslavia, literally grew up on the streets, like proper literal rags to riches story. And yeah, you know, like the energy of someone like that. Just brought Jordan Belfort out to Australia to run conferences. He's paying him to come out and so it's $1 million for him to come out to Australia and do for 3 days and do 3 seminars, basically promoting Jordan coming out. 3 sold out events: Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, I think. Yeah, so that's happening. So we did nearly 2 hours with him, and excellent story, amazing conviction, good hustle. Most people are happy to share their story. And you know, of course, he's promoting they got a mastermindy networking type thing that they're doing. So yeah, promoted that. And
everybody's a coach now.
Of course. Well, most people who build prominence want to eventually give back. Not everyone does, but most people do. So, or at least
some
they have
people
the
just
idea
skip the
to.
prominence and then go straight to.
Yeah. So that's coming together nicely. And I said to the team, let's just do this every week for the next 3 years. Just pump these out. That's all we need to do. The studio's set up, the production's all set up. They did a live cross to me in the podcast, which I was able to jump in. So they had me on the Google Meet and they patched me in to ask questions with the guests. And I was able to remote produce as well. I had the production software on a remote desktop computer, and when I jumped in, I could click the button and move it to me. So what that means is we can have Philippines-based production staff. We don't even need someone sitting there. We just go and sit downstairs, we set up the cameras, and someone can completely remote produce. Yeah, pretty fucking cool, right? Yeah, so that was sick. And it also means that I can guest from wherever I'm in the world. Not guest, but co-present from wherever I am in the world. Yeah, so that's running well. IT Genius, even though we're like a little bit shaky on the content team. That was 0 for 7 on the videos that they gave me for. It's got no fixing. We know the root cause, so we're fixing it. Wrong people. No, just wrong people in the approvals process. That just needs to be changed. So I'm going to make some changes there. And what else have I got on the go? I haven't heard back yet from Mitch on exiting Performance Project. On track, as campaign is on track. Had a good meeting with Kai yesterday, who wants to run the virtual digital retreat and build that, and I'm pretty keen to do that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Make it more accessible.
Yeah, we're not going to launch the membership just yet, but we are going to have a public event. My socials are going wild. The number of people that I haven't spoken to in like 10 years who liked that post that I made on Instagram. I'm going to put
the
it on.
recent one?
Yeah. From yesterday, yeah.
Oh my god.
Why is that so funny?
No, because we talked about how vulnerability porn gets people to engage.
It really does.
It's just another proof.
It really does, yeah. So I read this article on AI yesterday, and it was from a researcher who worked at Google. She previously worked at design at Apple and in design at Nike. So she's worked with these like leading fucking brands in design. Then goes and works at Google as a researcher. And she's researching what are the quirks that make us human that AI just like kind of doesn't know how to handle. And her little entrepreneur style startup is called the Empathy Lab. They ran this experiment on AI, and they put these people in a room, and they had a computer in the room, and the computer just basically read something out, right? And it said, "Hello, I'm a computer. Please tell me your name, your date of birth, and the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life." And people were like, "Fuck this! I'm not going to tell that to a computer." Some of them walked out of the room. Most people didn't really, want to say much, right? Because they were uncomfortable talking to a computer. They made another version 2 of the experiment, and the computer, same room, same person, computer says, "Hello, I'm a computer. Sometimes I get things wrong. I don't always work the way I'm supposed to work, but I do my best. Please tell me your name, your date of birth, and the worst thing you've ever done in your life. And people unloaded their most vulnerable stories. And it's because the computer was vulnerable first. People let loose. Isn't that amazing? So, yeah, so
It
that
doesn't matter if they're faced with a human or not.
doesn't matter if it's a human or no, but
But
I mean,
the
I'm sure
vulnerability.
vulnerability, and I'm sure the
That's
law
the-
of reciprocity is in there as well, because that's a law of influence. But I was reflecting on that as I was typing out my vulnerability porn post on Instagram. I was reflecting on that. I was thinking to myself, I'm asking people to join a mastermind and an online program where they basically have to say, I don't have everything figured out. I need help, which is a vulnerable thing for them to say, just to reach out and make a sales inquiry, right? And when I'm sharing about my
Yes.
journey,
This is really good.
right? When I'm sharing about my journey, it's no surprise that it then gives others permission to go,
Say,
oh, okay, cool, right.
Even this
Pete
guy doesn't have
even
figured
this
it
guy
out.
doesn't have it all figured out. Yeah, there
I
you go.
love it.
There you go.